Hi, I'm Bee from Minnesota, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you have not yet, please subscribe. I appreciate every single one of the subscribers that I get through these videos. It actually means a little bit more to me. It means you enjoyed it or you got something out of it. I don't even care what you're getting out of it, but welcome to my series called Divorcing Crazy. And I've already posted episodes 1 through 11. Make sure that you check those out. This is episode 12. It's all in chronological order, so it does make sense to start at episode 1. This one is episode 12, and it is called Moving to the Country. I didn't use the tune right, but I can't sing either. You know what song I'm talking about. Moving to the Country. Here we go. So our last episode was episode 11, and we were just coming back from our honeymoon. Brady had just had his thumb stuck in a treadmill, the normal stuff in life. And we have 5 days to pack and move to a much bigger house out in the country. 5 days. Yeah, I might have forgotten to mention that before I started the honeymoon episode. But, so here's what happened. Right before we left, I was browsing our rental company's website, and we were currently in a 2-bed, 2-bath, 2-car garage. It had a fenced-in backyard, so that was kind of nice. It wasn't near any freeway system, so that was kind of... But we went from that to a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, 3-car garage, 3 stories. I think it was 3,500 square feet, all finished square footage on the woods in a pond in a little country town called Lonsdale, Minnesota. I mean, the place had everything. Let's go already. 2 dining rooms, 2 living rooms. We got a pool table when we moved there. We put in a bar. That was, I think we fully stocked that thing. Yeah. I mean, what were we waiting for? It was like $300 more a month than what we were paying. Just made sense. Time to move. It's about a 20-minute drive to any kind of civilization from there. And you would have to literally make a day trip out of it to go see your friends. Like, well, to see mine. I mean, I don't know where yours are, but it was 20 minutes to my friends each way. And so you kind of had to make a day out of it. Things were a lot harder for us to do because we'd have to get C's parents to babysit. And I mean, that was stressful because if you watch the last episode, it became super clear really fast that I was the extrovert and C was the introvert. Like, it was very, very obvious. I remember one year we were out with my friends. My best friend was married to, at the time, his best friend. So I thought we were having a good time. But then, like, as usual, his social battery runs out rapidly. Worse than your crappiest cell phone. So it was like 10 p.m. on my birthday, and he's like, I just want to go home. I just want to go home. And I don't know. I'm pretty sure he just thought I had had enough to drink at that point. It was like, good time to take me home, if you know what I mean. I didn't go with him. It was my birthday, so I didn't go with him. Like, we had already made plans with people. I wasn't going to be like, bye, go home early because my husband wants to go home early and just not be around you guys. It's just kind of a rude way to put it. So yeah, that's kind of when I realized it was literally all about him. I mean, if it was about me at all, I think it was my birthday, and he should have just stuck it out instead of just having a child tantrum and being like, well, I'm just going home anyway. Like, it was, he had his mind set on it regardless if I was going or not. So I'm sure there was probably some corn waiting for him or something. When you gotta, I guess. God, like, dude, his mom would like, oh, you want to go shopping? Sure, I'd love to, Jay. And then we'd go, but she would spend her whole time picking out things for C, for my husband. Literally, like, hey, let's go shopping for him. But that's not what I, not what I had planned. But okay, so there was also this one time where it's just like weird story time. We were both at work all day. Brady, our son, was at my friend's house who was providing daycare at the time for him while we both worked full time. It was on C's way home. It was on my husband's way home to pick Brady up, but he told me when I got off work that he was still at work, so I would need to go pick up Brady. And mind you, it's badly blizzarding. I'm making up a word. There was a bad blizzard outside. The roads were awful. So he was asking me to drive towards his work away from our house to go pick up Brady because he was working late. However, as I was on the frontage road right by my friend's house where I needed to turn in our neighborhood, guess who I saw whizzing by on the freeway? Going south, crossing my path. Yeah, yep, that would have been my husband who just told me he was still at work. So after I picked up Brady and I got home with him, I got home and he was snow blowing the driveway. So a little bit of a backstory on that is that when we moved into this rental, nobody had lived there for, I think, 3 or 4 months or something like that. So the mailbox was snowed in. And they were like, well, you're just going to have to chip away at it until you can go until then you can go to the post office and just pick up your mail. Like it was no big deal, right? So just because I was getting home before him every day, I was just working on that when I would get home because usually I think Brady would lay down and take a nap. So I'd start chipping away at the big snow pile. And so he admitted to me that he was jealous that I was getting home before him and that I got to use our new snowblower every day and that he was not. So he lied, made me drive cross his path away from our house towards his work while he was lying about where he even was because he wanted to get home to snowblow because he just was jealous that I was doing it all the time. I mean, this could have been solved by him just saying, don't snowblow today when you get home, I'll get it. But I guess that his resolution skills are better than mine. So a couple other things happen over like the next year. It's literally just done. Like this is just a year. So in the next year, like I go to Vegas on a girls trip, and that is just a story for another time. It'll never be on YouTube. It'll never be on here. You'll have to ask me on another socials. But I'll tell you the quick version of it. I basically lost my engagement ring. When I got there, I had been just drinking the whole time on my way there and on the plane, and it was literally just a sloppy mistake I made. It was on the floor somewhere in Vegas. I'm sure someone found it and was a happy, feeling lucky type person that day. But I was distraught, totally distraught looking for it. I was upset that I'd lost it. But still, C thought that it was better when I got back to just constantly accuse me of pawning it. So that was logical. I mean, that made more sense than the fact that I literally really just lost it. I mean, let's accuse her instead of just believing the real story. And then Brady turned 1 year old. And this was the best party ever because it was back when things seemed a little bit more normal. Grandma and Grandpa were there on my side. Grandma and Grandpa were there on C's side. All of the aunts, uncles, friends I had from high school and then their kids, like they were all there. It was a wonderful party. I really thought this is how life is going to keep going. My dad at the time played Best Grandpa of the Year because I don't know, he was in competition with C's dad, trying to look like best grandpa ever, but literally that changes so much way down the road, and you'll see that in some of these stories that I tell, but it was a great time. he actually like showed up and popped the trunk of his rental car, and it had like a big ass Lightning McQueen car that my kid could drive, and it was way too fast for him for 1 year old. I remember that. I remember that part a lot. But it was he always did things that were a big spectacle and showed that he grand gestures. I'm the coolest grandpa ever. So yeah. See, that summer, my dad also took me and all my friends from high school to the Poison concert at the racetrack nearby. It's a small, quaint little concert, and like I say that because it's a tiny town and you literally knew everybody there. You could have walked right up to the stage and he would have been like, hey, because it was that small. I miss that dad. That dad doesn't exist anymore. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And I miss that dad. He was fun. I mean, don't get me wrong. Most of that year was fun. Like, it was a year and a half we were married. Most of it was fun. I mean, we kept so busy, but I mean, very quickly, we just grew apart. I saw very quickly that our interests were not the same. And I think he felt once we were married that he was free to do whatever he wanted instead of, playing the impress her game. So he turned into a giant connoisseur of brewing beer, buying friends with it, bringing it to all the neighbors, going with his dad to the brewery store to buy more stuff to brew more beer. Like, it was just kind of what he concentrated on. He really was kind of about himself all the time, and we didn't do things together that we both enjoyed anymore. And I think that's where things kind of went downhill. I started going out more. I started hanging out in my old town more. Because he was never home. We did things separate, very separate. And so after a year and a half, one day he just walked up to me and said, are we getting divorced? Like, that is how deep his conversations go. He just came right out the gate and was like, are we getting a divorce? And I just responded with, yeah. And then he mentioned therapy, but I was like, I don't want to do all that. I just think it's too late. And so this is where we begin the divorce side of our relationship. And that is episode 12 of Divorcing Crazy. Make sure you watch them all. Make sure you subscribe. Thank you for watching this all the way through. I appreciate that. You're going to learn a lot through this. I hope, if anything, some women watch or men that have no hope about their custody situation or dealing with gaslighting narcissists. I hope you learn that from this in the series. There's going to be a lot of them. And you're going to be, oh my God, this is nuts. And I'm going to say yes. But at the end, I did win majority custody in the school district. Things do pan out if you really just stick to it. Don't ever give up on your kids. Have a wonderful day. Subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye.